women and modern day people, and they take 3 legs, and by that time they weigh about 75 pounds. So you can't even move them without hurting somebody. And if they're drinking and dancing and playing the shuffleboard and stuff, they're gonna fall over and break somebody's leg. So I don't allow that in any of my antique saloons. And I went to bed again, and I was thinking, and he was up there working on that thing there, and I had a guy come from my crew and help me with this, and I decided that this had to be moved to the garage when they're playing music and dancing and all this stuff. So if I did it this way, it wouldn't require 3 legs.
Nice.
I'm not sure I can do this.
Genius, sir.
Yeah. So that goes in there. You see it? You got it.
Does it turn? Does it turn?
It's okay. It's okay. I'll fix it later. Okay, so anyway, you go right around here, and that is a wood stove that's over 100 years old. That iron box right there came to California with that table that's over there on a boat with my great-grandmother in that boat. And there was no canal in South America. What do you call the canal?
Panama.
Panama Canal. There was no Panama Canal. They had to go around South America and all the way up the west coast and turn at San Francisco, and there was no bridge. The boat had to turn and come in San Francisco Bay, and when they turned the boat into San Francisco Bay, the guy messed up and hit a big rock that was on the edge of the bay, and the boat went to the bottom of San Francisco Bay. And she said, "But I have my steel box with a lot of things in it. It's waterproof, that box, and you can lock it down, but it's down there in the bottom of the sea." And that table was down there, soaking up seawater. And when they got both of them up, my great-grandmother said, "I brought these because your great-grandfather told me that you were building, or you wanted to build, a Cowboy Saloon. And I want these 2 things in your Cowboy Saloon. So I have them." It's unbelievable. I didn't even know that they had boxes like that you could make. They put something on them and sealed them, and then they could stay in the boat, down in the bottom. This back bar was the back bar for the Jeffrey Hotel in Salinas, California, that went in there in the 1800s. And when Pat and I got married, they were tearing down the Jeffrey Hotel. And I went to them and I said, "You know, that was Jack Long's barber shop that you're tearing down there. And I had my first haircut in front of that. And I want to buy that." We don't care. You can take it, a couple of $100. We would put it in an antique shop and ask $200, so if you want it. So I took it, and this table came with it in the same boat with that iron box over there, and she gave me that too. And it was hers because she had this table on a wharf in Spain where her husband, my great-grandfather, and that's a picture of him right over there, about waist high. She had a bar there because he was a professional fisherman in Spain, Portugal, sorry, in Portugal. And so, anyway, I got the table, and this chair was a chair that I got my first haircut on, with a seat right there on top of that, where your head's high enough for the barber to work on. And that chair was in front of that back bar in the Jeffrey Hotel, and I got both of them.
Wow.
On you go.
Pretty amazing.
This is my first horse, Ginger. And Ginger was the love of my life at that stage in my life. And Ginger was unbelievable. I'm 4 years old in that picture. They had to tell me later what that picture was. I'm 4 years old in that picture, and that's the trophy I'm holding. Right there, sitting there. My mother started to take charge of saving things like that for me later on. At 4 years of age, the movie star was Jane Withers. She was the movie star in that particular movie, and she sponsored a class, a competition for stock horses that went with the movie. And she put up, I don't know, some money for this and that, but one of them was to make this trophy. And I won the Blinken class at 4 years of age with kids up to 10 years of age. But, I mean, that was a day before lessons were learned that much. And I didn't know what was going on. I'm hugging the trophy there because everybody told me, oh, you're wonderful. You did so well against these kids up to 10 years of age. The day after Pearl Harbor, my father shot Ginger and killed him. Hatred is hard to do with your parents. Hatred is not something that comes on easily with your parents. And I went away with a contract that he had signed for me to be a child stunt person in the movies of Hollywood. He bought a railroad car that took horses on it, and down at one end was a little bedroom where he put a nanny with me. And sent me off south through Los Angeles and down through Arizona and down through New Mexico and up through Nevada, doing movies that needed a child stunt person. And I was the only person on the face of this earth that could do these, what do I call them, stunts at 4 years of age. There was no other 4-year-olds riding. They tested kids in England and Scotland and Wales and up into Iceland, and they went to Texas and Arizona and New Mexico testing kids because they needed kids to be in the movie. And they had wonderful actors, but those actors were not able to ride at 4, 5, 6 years of age. So by the time I was 12, I said, no more, no more. And my father beat me up every chance he had to get me to do something that I didn't like doing. So I got through all of that, and we were in Tuscarora, Nevada. And my father was coming because he said that I couldn't train a Mustang. And if you try training Mustangs, I'm 12. You try training Mustangs, I'll kill you. Kill me? What is that all about? I mean, I'm gonna die if they kill me anyway. But I didn't know what was happening, but I'm 12. And he ain't gonna kill me if I can keep from it. I was with 5 cowboys. And those 5 cowboys all had rifles. They all knew who I was. They all knew who my father was. And I told all 5 of them in one lump, please don't tell my father, but I want to borrow a pack horse from you, and I want to go out, and I want to see, I've been dreaming about pulling a Mustang away from the herd and putting a saddle on that Mustang and riding him back, leading a pack horse and my 2 riding horses with me. Are you crazy? Sure, we'll give you a pack horse. You can lead her. But you're not going to get any Mustangs to come out of the herd and come to you anyway, so we'll just do that. I had already talked to my father about it, and he had told them, I didn't know it, he had told them that I had this idea, and if you let him do it, I might kill you right along with him, but he's going to die. I didn't know that at the time, but I came in with this Palomino kind of a Mustang, riding him back to the camp. And my father was coming in from southern Nevada with about 30 or 40 Mustangs on a big truck. And I saw the truck coming, and I could tell immediately that he knew what I had done. They'd been on the phone with him, phones. Crank phones. And he didn't have one in his truck, but they had these little hotels up through Nevada, and these people were learning about telephones, and each of the little hotels would have a telephone that all the people that stayed in the hotel would use the one thing. And I could tell when that truck was coming in, his truck, that they had told him. And he got out, I guess, ready to kill me. He acted like it. He came, he took a swing at me, and I got away from it. I'm 12 now. I've already played some football, and I worked out heavily, really heavily. And they put him in the hospital. They put him in the hospital, and I rode up above the driver of the truck in a little sleeper cabin up there, back to California. When we got back to California, at the rodeo grounds there, Dr. E.J. Leach was the president of the Rodeo Association in Salinas, California. I remember him like he was my best friend, because he had heard the whole story from the drivers and stuff about what my father did. And I had some scars and some swollen lips and a bit of bleeding. And he sat my father down on the ground in front of a rifle he was holding, sitting on his horse, holding a rifle on him. Sit down there, or I'm going to blow your head off. Now, I'm going to tell you that I'm your boss, and you make your money through me with the Rodeo Association, getting these Mustangs to do the wild horse race. And he said, if I ever see you strike him again, I'm going to kill you. That was the way things happened in those days, you know? And I'm just standing there near where the Mustangs were held in the thing we call the green corrals. And I was feeding them and watering them and learning about them. And he said, you can get up and you can walk. But if you go toward him with any ill attempt to cause him pain, or beat him up in any way, you are out of a job. And I will see to it that you get the hell out of California and you never have another job where I'm involved. And he sat on the ground and listened to that. This big guy. I couldn't believe what was going on. But a rifle in front of him will change things dramatically, I learned. He never did another thing to me. And he lost his job when the war broke out. Remember, this all happened before 1942. In 42, we had to move away from there, so they brought Japanese prisoners in because the World War II had started. And he never attacked me. He never hit me again. He was scared to death of Dr. E.J. Leach. And they found a place for him along the river. It's called Salinas River, for his house. And I went off with top-notch horsemen that were winning things in horse shows on the weekend and filming all the 5 days between the weekends. And that batch of trophies up there, there's 58 of them up there. I won over 500 buckles, 5,900 I think. No, 590 buckles. And those are the ones that I didn't let my mother sell. And she sold the rest of them. There's 58 there. And that top one in the middle is a world championship that I won in Madison Square Garden. I didn't know what Madison Square Garden was, but I did know that a couple of my friends, and they're in that picture up there, they had told people that I could learn all the things that it took to win that particular championship. What is all the things? I was only 15 at the time, and you could be 17 or 18. But I learned it. And I went there to New York with Jimmy Carter and another one. And they had horses that they loaned me to ride that were, one was a jumping horse. Then there was a quarter horse that they used for working cattle and stuff. And there was this and that and something else. And they put me in where you could be 15 or 16. You could be 18 and I was 15. And so there were older kids in there. But I won every division of that thing. And those poor kids that came there, they hadn't had the opportunities that I had. The fear of doing the thing wrong and losing your life over it will get you to be pretty good, you know. 3 days of written examinations. And immediately after that, I had won, am I supposed to get a message here? Or what? I had won 1,256 points out of 1,500. And so I made a lot of mistakes. 710 was second. And all the parents got together and said, we've spent a fortune to get these kids here from Australia, New Zealand, from England, Scotland, Wales, Iceland, and now we come here and you've got somebody trained to an eyelash. We're throwing the whole thing out. So the American Horse Shows Association threw that out right after that top center buckle there. They threw it out, never to have it again. So they didn't have it. So going around this place here, one of the movies that I was in was East of Eden. And that's this picture here. And that head right there in this picture is mine. And here is James Dean, right here. Here is James Dean, and that's my head there. Neither one of us had a hat on. Supposed to have a cowboy hat on. And when I went out to be with Dean, I was assigned to Dean to teach him how to hold a horse or whatever he had to do to fulfill the script that we were on. And all of these guys have funny old beat up hats on, every one of them. And out comes the director and he says, "Where are your hats? You got this 50s hairdo on, and I gave all of you those old cowboy hats to wear." And Dean says, "You know, I just met Monty day before yesterday, and we went to a horse show together, and you know, I decided we weren't going to wear those old crumpled up hats." And so I took mine off and threw it in the trees over there. And you want to go find it, you can find it, but I'm not putting it back on anyway. He's talking to the director. And so he said, "What about Monty then? He's got to wear the hat." No, he's become a friend of mine, and he doesn't have to wear one of those goofy looking hats. And so he took it off of me. Now, to show you the miracles that have come through my life, Pat and I had 2 dates just to go to the movies, just before the making of East of Eden. And she said, "Do you think I could get a part in that movie that you're making?" I said, "I can try." And that's Pat right there.
Wow.
Right there. And they had a funny hat on her. But Dean and I took that away from her too. And you see that all the other people have these funny hats on, but neither one of us have a hat on.
That's great.
It was only about 6 months after that we were dating regularly, and then about a year, and then we got married. But one of the things that happened during all of that time was that this is Dean here, and this is Geronimo, as you can see, and it's his signature here that has been has been authenticated in New York by a team that does that kind of thing. That's him. This is him here with a different hair thing, and this is his rifle right here. That isn't the one it is, but pretty close to, I mean, it was in the movie. And when he died, speaking of the director of the movie, Post, C.W. Post, General Foods, Post Cereals. When he died, his granddaughter, this lady right here, Marjorie Meriwether Post, died. She had a house down that now burned away, right as you go to the sea from Los Angeles. And she received a letter that he left in his will that all of these things go to Monty Roberts.
Wow.
And this was the typewriter that writer of East of Eden used to make the the words that are in East of Eden, the movie.
Is it
Yeah?
Steinbeck?
Steinbeck.
John Steinbeck?
John Steinbeck.
Steinbeck, yeah.
Wow.
John Steinbeck. He happened to be from Salinas, California, the same town where I was born. But I never had met him. And when he died, that was named through his granddaughter, that was named to go on my wall. Yeah? So we come around here, George A. Smith Jr. was one of the breeders of quarter horses of the greatest magnitude you could ever believe. And he saw me working without violence with horses, and he fell in love with me. And he said, I'm going to buy a horse in a sale. And they tell me that he is a very, very talented horse with a lot of ability. And that's him right there, standing there with nothing on. That's him, Johnny Tivio.
Wow.
Johnny Tivio won 4 world championships for me. And that's him just to the right of that picture with a lady there that had put up something in the range of $20,000 for the trophy of that contest. And the reason she did it is that she had some of the best horsemen in the world, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and she had 6 or 8 stallions that she was going to stand right here. I was living in Salinas, but right down the road here, she had those stallions. And she put up all this money for those stallions to go in a contest in San Francisco Cow Palace. And that's in the Cow Palace right there. And I had the only horse that she didn't own in this contest. And I had visited her out on her place. I didn't visit her. I visited some kids that worked for her. And they told me about this contest. And I said, well, find out if she would allow an outsider to come in and put up what is the fee that I would have to put up. And I think they said it was $50 or $60 or something like that. And I don't know how I got all that money. That was a lot of money for me. But I got it for Johnny Tivio. And he had won most of it with those things you see up there, various contests. And a wonderful horse that just couldn't do anything wrong. And as you see me working a cow there, that's the Salinas Rodeo, and the one picture just below that is also Salinas, and he won both the cutting and the working cow horse classes, and therefore went into the legends of the horses. And the lady had put up all the money to have this thing and leased the Cow Palace for 2 days to have this contest. And I won the contest. And she sold all of her stallions and got out of the business. So that's a big trophy for me. And then you see just to the left of that, the Hall of Fame certificate. That's Johnny Tivio's. And I used to have one up there. They threw me out of the Hall of Fame. After winning 4 world championships in their competition, they threw me out. And I called the president of the organization and said, what did I do? I've been retired for, I guess it was 10 or 15 years by then. And he said, we were just angry because if all this crap that you're doing gets away with itself, we're out of business. If we can't hit a horse with a whip, we're out of business. if we can't put a chain under a horse's chin to anchor him, we're out of business. And I said, well, okay, if you want those things to happen, fine. But I want to stay out of your Hall of Fame. I don't want to be any part of your organization. But please tell me, what did my horse do? He got thrown out too. Oh yeah, we were just angry. And so we threw out your horse too. But we'll put him back in. So in this house, there's 2 certificates for Johnny Tivio in the Hall of Fame working cow horses. It's a life that you just can't even believe. The picture down under the light there is Pat with Julia's doll, and she just won championship after championship on Julia's doll. And that's Blackie up at the top that she's riding today. And she's doing very well. I can't ride anymore, and that's the end of that story. But anyway, the table I told you about, this was the chair that I had my first haircut in. And it had a seat across here when he was cutting my hair, so that you sat up higher so he could reach your head easier. And that went with the back bar over there. These saddles up here, this is world champion team roper. And this is world champion bulldogger. And that one there is Pat's own championship that she won with the horse that you see her on in the top, not the top picture. Yeah, the top picture. Blackie. Yeah. Yeah. And so then coming around, this is a group of guys that wanted me killed. Look, we've got a good thing going with polo around the world. And along this creek comes from California, and he says, the way your horses are all broken in South America is wrong. And you don't have to break them that way. What they did, and there's film, you can see it today, they ran them down a narrow lane, and they had cowboys sitting on the side of this narrow lane, and each cowboy knew how to roll a loop across in front of the horse that's running past him 20 miles an hour. And they would roll it out there, and when his 2 front feet were in that loop, they would put it on the saddle horn and sit back like that, and he would go over 52% by guaranteed study. 52% of the horses that played polo died in the process of being broke. But they didn't care. They had a lot of grass, they had a lot of acres, and I kept talking to the various ones that were up here. And this guy lives just a mile from us, and this guy lives 3 miles from us. This guy died on the polo field right after this picture was taken. This is the queen. That's Debbie right there. And this is the daughter of our foster son right here. He's from India, and that's his daughter. The mother isn't there, but he got her this rose, and he had a lady there in Argentina, not Argentina, no. What? The Middle East.
Oh, India.
From
India.
Iran or Jordan or
India.
Egypt?
India.
Israel, Middle
India?
East.
India?
Well, near India.
Okay.
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Pakistan. This lady, this foster son of ours, right here, he was training horses in Pakistan. And he taught her his daughter, how to curtsy when she was going to give this rose to the Queen. And they asked me if that's okay. Sure, it's okay, you know. So I watched, that's me, I watched, and Debbie did too, as this little girl learned how to do her curtsy right there near Windsor Castle. We lined up down next to the polo field because they wanted to take pictures of the group that was there. And that lady, Queen Elizabeth II, had just provided me with a doctorate. I became Sir Monty Roberts in her office right here, and that's my certificate right there. Yeah? And this is when she died. And we went through her funeral. But anyway, before she died, this little girl learned how to curtsy to give the Queen this rose. And we were back over here somewhere, and I was there when the Queen was saying, "Oh, you do it so well, you learned how to do this curtsy." Debbie was there.
Yes, ma'am. I curtsy. What?
What's her father's name?
Whose father? Oh, Satish?
Satish Seymour.
Yeah.
He was our foster son. And we had 42 foster children that we raised. Anyway, we're all there. And then they said, turn to the right and go down, and you're going to get in the carriage, and the Queen has a big luncheon planned for you. So we started to walk that way. And I'm always at the Queen's left shoulder. Her husband is always in back of her where he belongs. And we were all walking down through there, Debbie too. And she had taken that from her before back over here. And I'm walking along with the Queen, and she's saying, "Tara, Tara." And I'm going, "Ooh, what's the deal?" You know, and Tara stops up there. And Tara walks back toward her, because when the Queen stops, everybody stops. You don't move a foot when she stops and stands somewhere. You let her stand there. This is my uniform. And she said, "I dubbed this your uniform." Because people were saying, "Why does he always wear the same clothes?" Well, I was wearing them in the rings that I did my, what do you call them?
When you were gently
shows.
Yeah.
Demonstration.
Your demonstration.
My demonstrations, yeah. And we were at Windsor Castle when she said, "I dubbed this your uniform." And I have not done one public appearance since then without wearing my uniform. And I have to be careful to take these without tearing them or something, you know. But we're going along, and I hear the Queen saying, "Tara, Tara, come." So little Tara turns around back there, right over about there we had walked, and she comes back to the Queen. And the Queen said, "Tara, I'm going to give you this rose back. I want to give you this rose back." And I thought, what is that all about? A gift that you give back, you know? And she said, "Tara, I just want you to know that if you take this home and put it under a big book, and you get several big books and stack on top of that, in about 3 months, it's preserved forever. And you can then take it out and it won't fall apart or anything. It's preserved forever. And you then can tell all your friends that the Queen of England gave me this rose, and that I knew how to fix it once she told me that it was flat, but so she still has it. And I talk to her once in a while by phone. The last time I saw her, she was about 8 or 9 or 10, something like that. And now she's 21 or so and finishing college. And so that's this saloon. This wood stove here is for real and was handmade way before this saloon went in, and then we just put it there, and we don't do that much with it. But the pictures that you see, there's world championship after world championship down this wall over here. And as I showed you, all of these can come up. And this is me winning a world championship right here. And that happened to be in San Francisco at the Cow Palace. This is an Arizona one where I won a championship in Arizona. And this one is a championship in San Francisco. And this is one of my students. And that's the proudest that I make. Tara, I'm so proud of. Ron Rawls came to me at 58 years of age. And his father had taught him how to beat up horses, and that he could ride and rope, and was a damn clever cowboy out there the old way. Huh? And his brother had become a veterinarian, and he told this man, his brother, just a couple of years younger than him, go and be with Monty Roberts and learn what he does, and you'll be so much better off than all this beating horses up and stuff. So he came to me, and I made a special effort because the veterinarian, I loved him. He was just like a son. And I now had 2 sons, and he was in his 50s. What am I going to do? He didn't know anything about nonviolent training, nothing. And I spent quite a bit of time with him. We made a little arena down there that I could help him with, because I couldn't really take him to my other students here who would say, what did he do before? And he was explaining how he would beat them half to death, you know. But anyway, I had him for 5 years, and I sent him to Texas. And that's his name, Ron Rawls. And in 2003, he was world's greatest horseman. In 2004, again, world's greatest horseman. In 2006, world's greatest. World's richest stock horse, the horse himself. And Ron Rawls Performance Horses. He's still riding. He's now 80, and he's still riding and not showing that much, but has a lot of students that are listening to him. And the brother that brought him to me bought an airplane, and he used to fly over this house about 20 feet from the roof. And I would say to him, Van Snow. Yeah, Ron Rawls and Van Snow. The father was different, but the father had lots of wives on the mountains between Bakersfield and Nevada. And he was the brother was flying over this house all the time, and I told him, don't fly that close to the house. You're gonna crash that plane. So he said, he came to me and said, you know, I entered a flying contest, and you go around these pylons and stuff down by the desert town.
Reno.
Which one?
Barstow, Reno.
The Reno Air Races.
Not Reno,
No.
on down by Bakersfield.
Barstow.
What?
Fresno.
Barstow, sir. Barstow.
Fresno.
Not Fresno. No, it's
29 Palms.
there's a desert down here.
29 Palm.
Yeah,
29.
well, 29 Palms, and then there's
Palm Desert. and
which one?
Palm Desert.
Palm Desert, all that area. They had these these statues kind of thing out there. You fly around and they measure it and they do this and that. And the plane fell apart. And he died with 2 of his children watching him fly this plane.
No.
So I lost him, but this one is still alive. And I promise you, he lives in Dallas now, near Dallas. Gainesville, Texas. I promise you, if you go there tomorrow and you say to him, Ron, how did you get here? What did you do to win these world championships and stuff? I met Monty Roberts. What? When did you meet him? Well, I was already 26, 27 years old when I met him, and I stayed with him 5 years, and in my 30s, I won 3 world championships. I couldn't be more proud of a person like that. He's never struck a horse since that day. Since the day he took over down there, he's never struck a horse. He never struck a horse on this property. He learned how to do what he needed to do without any violence whatsoever. These are the legends of the sport. And this is something I love to show, because this guy here was from Chicago originally, and he had me come to work for him in Sacramento, and he was a businessman that made a lot of money, and yet he had the money, so he bought this horse right here, Pocolina, and he won the world championship with her. And I had not won a world championship yet, but I was teaching him, who was 20 years older than me. He's dead and gone now. Yeah. And these guys are all Texas, basically, with their world championships. And before he died, he got a hold of the U.S. team of cutting horses. And he said, I want Monty Roberts to be on the Legends thing that you're doing, where I've already won 2 or 3 world championships, and I hadn't won any in the cutting at that time. And I want him to be on there. And they said, we cannot do that. Everybody's calling about this one ought to be on, that one ought to be on the world's legends. And the people that were making this went back to their offices and they put me on right here. They were already made and stacked up to sell at the various competitions. And Johnny Tivio and I are on that, but not supposed to be. Yeah, so I'm most proud of that. And this is the same kind of picture as you see here and here and here. This one's very close. And then this is Chrome, he's still here, he's alive. He's almost 30, I think. And my foot is 1 foot from the ground. But when he's standing up, it's 3 feet from the ground. So that's how deep he's struggling to make sure that this one didn't get with that one. And then here's one of him stopping. A terrific horse that we call Chrome. And he has 4 white socks. So it's like having chrome tires, you know. So I'm gonna take you down through the house now, and if anybody has to go, don't hesitate to tell me. We'll work it out, but I'm gonna take you through this door down here. And you're about to see the connection of one lady that has become the greatest influence on my life, with the exception of Pat. Okay, come on in, and I'll go on down here like this. You come on in and close the door so that you can see all of the things.
Queen.
Yeah, just come a little more.
I got it.
So the Queen used this hallway to communicate with me anytime she had something in the way of a picture that she wanted to save, keep. This is our son here. This is Pat. That's me, the first day that we met the Queen. And she kept sending through these kind of things. This is just outside of Windsor Castle. And the Queen's head man in the office is here. And all of these pictures that you see here and documents that you see here are a product of the Queen herself. And let me just show you here something. Can you hold those for me, please? So all of these things that you see in here have her signature on them. Does this one have her signature on it?
No.
So when it came to me, and this is, if you look at the dates on it, it's fairly late in our relationship with the Queen.
3.
What?
2003.
2003. Yeah. And what is this one?
2012.
Where's the 21, 22
Well,
one?
This one came after the first meeting with the Queen and all the things that we were doing. And I said to Pat, you know, she signed every one of these. The Queen did. And Prince Philip, they signed them all. But look, what happened here? Well, I said, Your Majesty, we got this, but you didn't sign it. And she said, turn it over.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Just on the back.
I'm saving money for the citizens of England. And so I used the back of the stationery.
Wow.
You can tell all your friends that that is my signature,
Wow.
and nobody would challenge that. And all of this is written by her.
Wow.
Now, if we could put that back.
Monty, you have a certificate of appreciation from the CIA over here.
Yes,
Will you tell us about that?
yes, the CIA gave me a call because they learned of my nonviolent way of training. And they said, you know, we have too many people killing too many people within the government. And we would like to have you come here and spend 2 days. And they said they would pay me something. I never saw any of the money anyway. That went to Debbie and Tom.
Pat took care of the money.
Yeah, and so I went there and I gave them 2 days. And when I got home, then
They sent you that.
they sent this through,
Where is
a
the-
certificate to show
Where?
that I contributed to
Oh, wow,
the United States.
wow. Hey, Mark.
This is the first day, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask before we had left the bar, did they ever do any filming for any movies in there?
Oh, lots of them.
Did they?
Oh, my
Which were
word,
the-
yes.
Can you name some of them?
No,
Oh.
I don't know their names.
But
Well,
did
it was
do
in the
lots of
Cowboy
them?
and the
If I
Queen.
started,
I
if
saw
I-
it.
yeah, the Cowboy and the Queen, now that's video,
Mm.
and then they made a movie of it,
Oh, my
and,
God.
yeah, that one is signed,
Wow.
and, it's around here somewhere.
With
But
John Wayne.
when you get things going like I've had go, you can't remember everything, particularly when you're 90 years old.
You're doing it.
Yes, these are horses that I trained for the Queen, and she sent me this through to show me how she was getting along with these colored horses
Wow,
and riding them. And this is Reagan and Nancy. I had horses in training for them too.
Look at the view.
And these are artwork, but I'll take you down. This is the kitchen here. So if you come through here,
I loved her zeal.
Her zeal.
Yeah, the queen. Especially as a youth.
so she's, am I messing up the sound?
No, we stop so you can have your, we're taking a break,
Okay.
so enjoy.
So she's doing, this is Pat. And, the love of my life. And the person that I have to give credit to for often saying to me, Monty, keep going. Keep going, it's working, you know, and encouraging me. We got married in San Luis Obispo, while we lived in San Luis Obispo. And I was teaching at Cal Poly University, I've told you about that before. But I was also a student there of this science department on behavioral sciences. And so Pat was taking care of the horses and trying to take care of me in a little town called Edna, outside of San Luis Obispo. And down there is a barbecue that I designed, I invented, where you put oak wood in there and you burn the oak wood, and it has a chimney outside that takes it through. And then next to that is the grill, and you have all the wood in there being pulled out, the smoke being pulled out, and you barbecue your meat, and then you roll the drawer out where the fire is burning, and it goes up like a chimney, like a fireplace, and you have your dinner without smoke in the kitchen, but you have oak wood doing the cooking for you. Yeah. We'll
Monty,
go-
is this from the schoolhouse here? This wood?
This is from the schoolhouse, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
These joints?
And this one,
Very cool. And the one in the hall as well?
yeah,
Yeah, very cool.
yeah.
What schoolhouse is this?
Well,
It's
it
the same
was,
from the floor. Floor that you got.
it was in London. Yeah, and it was done before there was even a highway there. It was a dirt road
Wow.
when it was done in the 1800s, you know,
Wow.
1815 or something. I'm gonna open this door now and we go down through here. And I know I'm keeping you a long time, but I'm so proud of it. Come on.
You have a lot to be proud of, Mark.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure to see you.
You'll see the Queen, that's Debbie at her wedding with Tom on the far end there. Yeah, and these are all documented things. This is the wedding of our grandson, and they now have a great granddaughter. And that's Pat, and that's me, Tom, Debbie, and a brother of Tom's. Yeah. And here's Pat at graduation from high school time. And she was running for a thing called hostess of the California Rodeo. Can you bring them on through now, please?
They're talking with Pat.
I know. I know. He is an amazing-
She's captivating, huh?
This is Shy Boy, an actual picture of about an hour after he had his first saddle on. And it was out there on 40,000 acres without a fence to divide it. And he was in with about 20 other horses, wild horses. And this I was told that I couldn't do, and that there was no reason for them to put up funds to do this thing that won't be done. And the Queen said, "What? What did they say?" They said they wouldn't put up funds to do something. A Mustang had never been touched by a human being. I could go out and bring him to me and get a saddle on him and ride him back to the ranch house. No money. And the Queen said, "You got my money. I want this." He says he can do it. Well, I was scared to death. I really was scared to death. He was so wild, you couldn't believe how wild he was. Back in '97, it came to me, a chance to prove my beliefs, you see. Part off a Mustang from the desert wide. Cause him to accept me, but keep his pride. That's what I wrote while I was following him around 50,000 acres, right up here between Bakersfield and this town. This is at our house. This is during the building of the farm that you've been on. And this was just scratching the surface. And the first buildings going in 3 months or so after this one. Then came this one. And then came the buildings, and then came the trees. And that's what you see now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a beautiful legacy.
So these are all Pat's sculptures,
66.
and they're, maybe one of you guys could step down and turn if you can figure out how to turn that light on. It'll help you with.
Turn them?
No,
No, that's not it either. Okay, figure that one out.
oh, it's okay.
It,
It's okay.
it has an or.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Pat knows, but I don't know. This is one of her sculptures that this lady married a guy right next to us here, but she won a medal in the Olympics on this horse and got that. And then all these sculptures are
Wow.
hers.
Wow.
The two big horses in the middle were for a lady that was from England and had a castle in England and built a monstrous home in Santa Barbara. And she said, "I would like one of your sculptures for a home." And she developed on a piece of paper what she wanted, and she has that in her castle now in Santa Barbara. Without the right for Pat to sell it, she bought the whole issue. And Pat's famous worldwide. That's Join Up there, and the mountain lion in the middle is here on the farm. It was 20 years ago anyway. And all of these are Pat's design. This one is crazy here. And it was, Pat wanted to do something for one of the United States government sculptures events. And I designed this because I had seen it as a child when I was riding in the movies, where you could catch a Mustang and get on him, or you could break a Mustang, huh? And then ride him around. And the movies were made off.
What can you teach us, buddy?